Moody, the concerns for me have gone out the window with that guy.
Wisnowski.
Wisnowski's balling, playing like an all-pro.
Wisnowski's quicker than Bosa?
Dude, 20 miles an hour? Are you kidding me? He might be.
Quicker than Bosa. Let's bring in Nick Bosa. The reigning
chase kangaroos down there.
Yeah, let's bring in the reigning defensive player of the year. Obviously, he was the defensive rookie of the year in 2019. He's been a godsend. He's now in the top 3 in sacks, in franchise career sacks here. Nick Bosa quietly with 9.5 sacks on the season. Nick, good morning to you. Who can win in a foot race? You or Mitch Wisnowski? You guys got to get that 40 race down next year.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's good, Nick. It's good. Good morning. How early do you get up, Nick? I mean, 6:30 is pretty early. We get up at around 4:30 around these parts. What time do you usually get up?
On a Wednesday, I'm up. This isn't too early for me.
All right.
I'm about to walk in the building, so get my day started.
So you get your day started. Do you get it started with breakfast at the building, or do you do it at home? Do you have breakfast at home?
I eat at the facility pretty much all week. They do an amazing job at the cafe. But right now, I'm about to get in the cold tub, which I'm not that excited about.
No, that is not exciting at all. What's the meal like? Do you do some eggs? Do you do the huge omelet? What's your go-to for breakfast?
I do 5 eggs scrambled, spinach and onions, and avocado.
Well, we had Mama Bosa on, your mother. She was on with Willard and Dibbs earlier this season, right after you signed, and she said, "Don't worry about Nick. He's going to be fine without Trady Kemp. He's going to be fine." But here's what she said about your breakfast, Nick. Here's your mama.
It's about 6 eggs and then maybe 2 egg whites.
Okay, 6 eggs, 2 egg whites, and then what are we putting in it?
Always veg. He loves onions, so always onions. Usually broccoli, kale, like whatever. He'll put Brussels sprouts in it. He'll put anything in it.
Okay, but no cheese?
Oh, no.
So no cheese, Nick? Brussels sprouts in your eggs?
Hey, don't sleep on Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, Brussels sprouts are top 5 vegetable, I'd say. No. She did a great job. She was my assistant chef for pretty much the entire training camp month when I was still at home. So she did a good job and just kept me sane while I was missing out on football.
There you go. Nick, we're joined by Nick Bosa, reigning DPOY. And Nick, I want to ask you this, going back to football here. Getting Chase Young on this team, your former teammate at Ohio State, coming off the bye, you guys were on a 3-game losing streak. And I don't know if it was the addition of Young. I don't know if you want to go to Steve Wilks coming down from the booth to the sideline, but something shifted with this team off the bye week. Can you talk a little bit now about playing with your former teammate at Ohio State and how this kind of galvanized that defensive line there?
Yeah, I mean, the addition has been huge. Just having another guy who could rush out there, it opens things up but honestly, I think throughout a season, guys get better, especially new guys in a scheme. And we added Randy, and then just some young guys in the interior, Javon and Kevin, and obviously Javon Hargrave was learning the scheme and getting used to it. So I think everybody's just taking steps throughout the season, and I think everybody's playing their best ball, and we're going to be without some guys for a little bit here, so we're going to have to keep that standard high with whoever comes in to replace them.
Nick, how would you assess your season so far? You look up, you have 9.5 sacks. It was well chronicled, your slow start. You discussed your slow start. How would you assess this season for yourself as we go into week 15, I want to say, against the Arizona Cardinals?
I think it's been a good year. I think defense is playing great. I think I've progressed from week 1. Maybe a little rust in the beginning with not practicing much, but I feel as good as I've felt right now. Playing good.
And Nick, and I mentioned it earlier, Steve Wilks, your defensive coordinator, much was made about, him being in the booth. Obviously, you've had, Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans, now both head coaches in the NFL, and they were on the sidelines. They were big passion, a lot of energy, rah-rah kind of guys. Steve Wilks, very calm in his demeanor when you see him in the booth, when he's speaking to the media. What was that adjustment like? And are we making too big a deal out of him coming down from the booth to the sideline? Kind of take us into that.
Yeah, I think he's got some pretty great energy behind the scenes. Obviously, everybody doesn't get to see him in meetings and stuff, but I think he's got just as much energy as the previous guys. Maybe not quite as much on the field. Everybody does it differently, but I think he's been a great addition. I think he brings a element to the back end that we haven't had, and I think it could pay big dividends for us on this playoff run. And coming down to the field, I can't really speak too much on it because I don't. He's kind of more focused on the back end, so you have to ask those guys. But seems to have worked, so I'm all for it.
Nick Bosa here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. The 2022 Defensive Player of the Year already has 9.5 sacks on the season through 13 games. Nick, what's your best move? Is it the spin? Is it the rip? Is it the bull rush? It's a spin move. What's your favorite move coming off that edge?
My favorite move or my most effective?
Both. Your favorite or most effective. What's your favorite first, and then what's your most effective?
I'd probably say power is my most effective. Power rushes, but I definitely have honed in on the spin move a little bit, and I'm starting to like it. So the spin is fun. Getting a sack on a spin is something I've been trying to do for a while. So it's always fun. But power is definitely my security blanket.
So you do have a lot of power, and we have Brian Baldinger on every single Tuesday. He joins us every single Tuesday at around 7:30, and he talks to Lane Johnson a lot for the Philadelphia Eagles. And apparently, Lane, 2 days after he played you guys in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago, basically was saying, "My shoulders are still sore because of Nick Bosa, because of his power." Would you say that Lane Johnson has been maybe your stiffest challenge when it goes to attacking opposing tackles there? Because you and Lane seem to go at it, especially a couple of weeks ago in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, he's no doubt one of the best right tackles, if not just overall tackles in the game. It's funny, I was thinking about the fact that him and Trent were on the same team in college, which is pretty nuts. But yeah, he's really good. He's seen a lot of different rushers over the years, so nothing really surprises him. And then that scheme and that quarterback make it pretty tough to get him down as well. So that combination makes rushing them definitely exhausting and very physical.
Question about Lane Johnson real quick, because there a lot's being made. Whenever you watch him, and the Eagles are in a lot of big games, he seems to get off a little quicker than everyone else, but it's within the rule book. How do you feel? I know I heard you little giggle there.
Don't get fined, Bosa. We don't want to get you fined.
It's technically legal, but he's getting a little bit of an advantage there, right?
Seems like it. If he slowed down a little bit on the tape, but I don't know. I don't know what if it's simultaneous or if it's a little before. It is what it is. So I just got to try and get off on keying him instead of the ball.
Nick, Brock Purdy obviously is playing, if not some of the best football in the world at the quarterback position. He's just on fire. We saw what he did last Sunday. We've seen what he's done all season. What was your first impression of Brock Purdy when you first saw him at training camp a season ago?
Oh, man, I don't even know because, I mean, you're not really – not that you're not paying attention to a human being, but you're not, like, super locked in on the third-string quarterback. But he was a nice kid and seemed like a pretty talented practice squad guy. But you're talking about last year, right? When he came
last year when he first, because like nobody knew. Like I remember, everybody's talking about Trey Lance and Jimmy being on the side field. Nobody really brought up Brock Purdy, and that's he makes the roster. And then all of a sudden the Miami game happens, and he's thrust into the role of starting quarterback, and he leads you guys to a victory against Miami, and then lights up Tampa Bay the next week. We're like, wait a minute. who's this kid? I didn't think much of him, Nick. So I'm wondering, when we hear from guys like Trent Williams and Fred Warner, they say, boy, we thought he had it. We were excited to watch him at practice, but I just wonder how much you watched him at practice, because I know you're on the sled with Chris Kosaric and the rest of the defensive linemen. I didn't think a lot of people even noticed him, like you said.
Yeah, no, I don't. I, for one, did not notice. It's so hard to tell if guys are going to pan out in the league when they're first-round picks. So it's not like we drafted a guy number 3, and we had Jimmy, who's done a ton for us. So I'm obviously wondering which one of those two is going to be the guy. So not Brock, but I think it's one of the most pleasant surprises of my life. Brock Purdy coming in here and being an MVP caliber quarterback, and just such a humble, good dude. And a lot of people change up when they have success, and that's definitely not who he is. So he just keeps impressing week in and week out. It's really an unbelievable story.
Going from Brock and being the most impressive on offense, and Bonte mentioned the guy's name earlier, Fred Warner Jr. Can you speak to this level of play from your star linebacker this season? Bonte here, he's been on a DPOY campaign for him. So how awesome would it be?
I'm on back-to-back.
From one DPOY to a linebacker on your same team, back-to-back would be pretty sweet.
That would be awesome. He's got some numbers this year. I think the most picks he's had to this point, but yeah, he's so consistent and just a standard of being a leader for this team, and he holds himself to such a high standard that it kind of motivates me each and every day. So, and it's just such a comforting, just knowing that you got Fred on the field. You think that you could get a stop no matter what. So just having him since I've been here, he's grown. We've both grown together, and I think it's pretty clear that he's the best linebacker in the game by a pretty big margin.
Yeah, I don't think it's even close, Nick. He's playing all 3 downs. Fred Warner, that is, and I thought he set the tone in Pittsburgh when he knocked Najee Harris. It seemed like he knocked the soul out. And the next thing you know, you guys are up 30-7. But this other linebacker that you have, who was part of your draft class, Dre Greenlaw. We know what happened in Philadelphia, but I love Dre. He seems to set, Draymond Green's on the Golden State Warriors. A lot of people don't want to talk about Draymond Green because of what happened last night, but he's that type of enforcer. But Dre Greenlaw, I like his recklessness at the linebacker position. He kind of reminds me of Alvin Mack of the program. Speak about your rookie classmate there out of Arkansas, who was part of that same draft class with you and Debo.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the linebackers we have. And it's funny you say the class, because whenever a member of the 2019 draft class makes a play, I just start yelling class, because I take pride in just the guys who came in that year and the draft we had. I think it was one of the better ones. Yeah, he's the enforcer. He's kind of the inside linebacker of old, that
right.
You're coming across the middle, you're going to get smacked. But obviously you could cover and do everything you want in the modern game. So, and just his mentality, right. You look into his eyes before a game and he's going to war, and it gives you goosebumps and makes you want to go play for each other out there.
I love the way he just hits his helmet before a game. He's like smacking himself up, and I'm like, man, that guy's intense, man. He's an animal. But you said you yell class, so do you like put 2 hands over your mouth and yell class, or do you go 2019? How do you do that, Nick?
I just yell class. Nothing fancy.
Well, one guy you're seeing from that 2019 class is this Sunday, one Kyler Murray, the first overall pick in that draft. And you've made reference in the past. Kind of pisses you off a little bit still, doesn't it, Nick, that he was taken first and not you?
Not at all. I'm very happy to be a Niner.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Come on, Joe. You got to know he'd rather be in the Bay Area than Arizona.
I don't know. I think he's going to get a couple sacks this Sunday. I have a good feeling about that, Nick. Going out your guy Kyler Murray over there.
Sounds good to me.
Nick, real quick, I do want to ask you because we're both Bay Area residents. We take pride in being from San Francisco. We take pride in being from the Bay and growing up Niner fans and Warrior fans and Giant fans. But you're from Florida, and we obviously know you were at Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio. What is it what did you know about the Bay Area? Did you ever even visit the Bay Area before you were drafted here?
I did not. Never been. I don't even know if I'd been.
Yeah.
I'd been to California before, but never the Bay Area. Didn't know much at all about anything out here, to be honest.
So what is taking you by surprise, and what is one thing that you love in the Bay Area? Is it the food? Is it the sights? I don't know if are you a winery type of guy? Do you like to go drink your wine? You don't seem like a red wine type of guy, most of the way you eat your eggs and everything and your diet. But what is one thing that you love about the Bay Area? It could be anything.
I'd say the food is a big one. And I do enjoy going to Napa and I just moved out to Los Gatos, so I've never really been geographically in a place that has like hills and that type of scenery. So it's cool. It's different for me. I'm used to like flat ground and the beach and all that. So just kind of the seasons and all that is new and cool. I like it. And then the food, I love trying new food, going out to the city. Michael Mina is a good friend of mine. He's a chef, big chef around here.
Yeah,
so
he's a good guy to know.
Sick name drop.
Right.
Love that.
So yeah, he's kind of introduced me to some cool restaurants around.
Absolutely. And of course he likes red wine, Bonte. He's Italian. Come on, man. As a paisan myself, come on. It's not even
question.
Come on.
That's a silly question.
Let's get out of here with that. Where did the nickname Small Bear come from, Nick?
That was just I think I was in middle school and wanted to copy my brother. So his name was Big Bear and I followed suit.
Just got to call you Bear. Can't call you small. There's nothing small about you,
like he's
Nick.
bigger than Joey,
We see you on the practice field. Your thighs are huge, man. You don't got a percent of body fat in your legs. And look, there's something small about you. We don't want you playing like a small bear. We want you playing like a big bear, Nick. We got to retire that nickname. Just be the Bear.
Change it now, man.
Oh, you just got to be the Bear. Come on, Nick. All right, lastly, before we get out of here, because we appreciate the time, and we know you guys got a big game coming up against Arizona. It feels like it's a year, but I know you guys are taking it week by week by week as you control your own destiny for home field advantage. But I know my guy Spinoni, both of our girls, they love the Kardashian show. And so my girl goes, when we saw you model it for Skim, she goes, Nick Bosa's on the Niners? My girl has season tickets with me. She didn't even know you're on the Niners, Nick. She didn't know it until the Kardashians. So can you talk about the Kardashian effect and how'd you come about dealing with the Kardashians and Skibbs?
Yeah, it definitely opened up a little different eyeballs on me, I'd say so. But it was just an opportunity that my marketing team brought to me in the off season, and I was at home for an extra month, so it was just a quick, easy thing in New York, and seemed like a good opportunity. Anything that the Kardashians touch seems to have pretty good success. So
that's true. Except the athletes, Nick. You don't go dating them. Yeah, no, all right, no, don't be doing that. All right. No.
Nick, you can date anybody you want to date. You're a big boy.
I mean,
you're a big
that's
boy.
A curse. I don't know if we can be dealing with curses right now, Bonte Hill.
Well, just know that our ladies love you now, Nick, because you're part of that brand.
Christmas list Skims.
Yeah.
All right, Nick.
I wouldn't jeopardize this season for that. Don't worry.
There you go.
Absolutely. It feels like the year you guys are humming. You guys are clicking on all cylinders. Chase, Hargrave. We got to get Armstead healthy, but the offense is scoring nearly 30 points a game. A fun time to be a Niner fan. And Nick, it's been great to watch you through year number 5. You've been a generational talent, rookie of the year, DPOY, and next thing you know, you're going to have double-digit sacks again. as we knock on wood here over the next 5 games. Nick, thanks so much for the time today. We appreciate it. Enjoy the Cold Tub.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
Anytime,
Thanks,
Nick. Nick Bosa, 2022 Defensive Player of the Year. A lot of fun with Nick. He's a fun guy.
He's fun. Hey, you can
Got
see
a
him
dry sense of humor.
It's very dry, but he's loosen him up a little bit. He'll have, give us some red wine, Bonte, and he'll be chilling.
I didn't think he's
big
a red
Napa
wine drinker.
guy. Come on,
Big Los Gatos, Shaquille Seed.
I mean, dude, the Italians, we're drinking red wine at dinner in high school.